So we're talking about judges here now, and we've got Congressman Jim Jordan, who's the head of the Judiciary Committee, and I know you guys have been looking, a lot at these activist judges. Talk about the problem that it is and what we're doing about it.
Well, the fundamental problem is exactly what the president said. He put his name on the ballot. Yeah. He got elected by we the people. He gets to make the calls as the guy who runs the executive branch, not some unelected federal district judge who somehow thinks they're equivalent to the president of the United States. So that's the left always wants the unelected to make the calls, the Faucis and the Boasbergs. They want them making the judgments and the decisions, not the people who put their name on the ballot. But that's not how our system works. So we've actually sent a letter to the court. We're kind of curious about how Judge Boasberg gets all these cases. You know, he was the guy who was on the FISA court when they spied on President Trump's campaign. He was the judge that oversaw Kevin Kleinsmith's case, the guy who altered a document, lied to the court, the FISA court. He oversaw that case. He was the judge who said, turn the plane around, bring the bad guy back who's a member of a gang, who did terrible things, who's here illegally. And he's also now the judge who gets randomly assigned the Signalgate case against Secretary Hegseth. So we wrote to court and said, how does it all work out? How does this random assignment process work? Because we're concerned about the same thing President Trump was talking about.
There's been concerns about, like a judiciary that can, weaponize itself. This is not a new problem in this country. This is not a new fear that judges could, exaggerate their power, however you want to say it. I can't get the wording right, but this is not a new. And I guess I wonder when does the Supreme Court jump in and do something about these district judges that think that they have power over the whole country?
No, great question. I do think some of these cases are going to get to the Supreme Court in a pretty quick manner, pretty quick time frame. Yeah. Justice Roberts put out a statement a month or so ago about, the proper course of action is if you don't like the decision of a district judge, is to, use the appellate courts. And I get all that, but I think his statement just sort of underscores the focus that's now on this issue. And we've taken legislative action in the House. We passed a legislation that said one of these federal district judges who issues an injunction, the injunction shouldn't apply nationwide. It should apply to the parties in that case, in that jurisdiction, not to the entire country. And even Justice Kagan had talked about this phenomena a few years back. So we think there's a chance that bill hopefully could get through the Senate and get signed by President Trump and scale some of this back, some of the power that these district judges have currently.
Yeah, and hopefully relatively soon, because as we know, it's not a lot of time for them to do some of this important work, and they're getting kind of stalled out. And I think that's exactly the point of why they're doing all this. I want to ask you about this. Tish James, the New York Attorney General, the one that famously went after Trump over nothing, built her whole campaign on getting Trump, and then throws a nonsense case to try and derail him. Well, she's facing a lot of some allegations as well. The irony of that not lost on anybody, but she has a new lawsuit against the president. Take a listen.
Today, I am announcing a lawsuit to stop the most sweeping and unlawful assault on public health in our nation's history. This administration is taking a wrecking ball to the Department of Health and Human Services. In just a few short weeks, this administration has unraveled decades of progress.
What's your reaction to Tish James at this point?
I don't know that anybody takes her serious. We know how ridiculous the case was that she brought against President Trump. And of course, the irony with her is now it's being alleged that she did some of the same kind of things that she falsely accused President Trump of doing. It turns out, Rob, if you're the Attorney General of New York, you can't have your principal residence in Virginia. So there's three now. I haven't seen it, so I don't know for sure. But it's been alleged that she has said things on various forms trying to get better terms, better rate on loans regarding three different properties. So one it's alleged that she said her dad was actually her husband. Another one, she claimed her principal residence was in Virginia versus New York, where she's the Attorney General. Yeah. So this lady has got all kinds of concerns that have been raised. We'll see how it all shakes out. But now she's bringing another action against President Trump. Just, again, shows you, I think, how crazy the left has become in what they try to do.
Clinging to the only thing she's got, which is attacking Trump. That's the only reason she's got power. That's the only reason anybody knows her name. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.
Everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. turn to us and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.